I once had a friend, Amber was her name, who never did anything for herself, never earned anything of her own accord, and never achieved anything from her own work and effort. Everything she had came from someone else. Her parents, who were not in any way rich, they certainly weren't poor, but they weren't middle class either, who did everything around the house for her, who she threw tantrums at to get her own way, who she manipulated into complaining to the school every time a teacher noticed she hadn't done her own work, or was failing, or being disruptive. Her siblings, whom she domineered over, she blackmailed and bribed them into doing her chores, and every other task she didn't feel like doing. She's the youngest of three, I should mention. Her classmates, whom she bullied. The smart kids were forced into doing her homework, or letting her copy. The same went for classwork. Anyone the slightest bit different was basically a gazelle to align with her. And with her leading the charge, the general popular crowd sheep soon followed, and their teasing then quickly escalated. Her teachers, who were powerless to do anything against her, lest she raise all hell and cry to her parents. I don't begrudge them for barely doing a thing about her. They had bills to pay, and most had kids to feed, and they couldn't afford to lose their jobs. I could go on, but I'm sure it's clear now just what kind of person this friend was. Now I imagine you're wondering why I'd be friends with someone like that in the first place. I can tell you it wasn't really a choice I had. Our families were friends going back to our great-grandparents. Whether I liked it or not, and believe me, I didn't, I had to socialize with this girl during joint family vacations, barbecues, parties, the works. My parents knew what a little witch she was, but they dared not ruin a friendship spanning generations by bringing it up to her folks. So my little sister and I had to endure this human parasite that fed on other people's ideas, influence, and achievements. For the most part, I was spared her bullshit. I think she had been wary of sparking a family feud. Not that that seems in line with how she generally was, but it's the only reason I can think of. For whatever reason, she decided the countless innocents at her mercy were not enough. She needed to add me into the mix. She couldn't do it in her usual obvious way. No. Instead, she decided to be as sly as she could manage. She stole my journal. Now, this wasn't a journal full of my private thoughts and secrets that she planned to blackmail me with. I fortunately did not have one of those. Though what was stolen from me, in its pages, is arguably just as bad in a different sort of way. My ideas. I used the journal for word and character building, as well as setting up the plot for a story I wanted to write. A story I hoped to publish. I wrote it out because it was precious to me, and I was always worried my laptop would die and I'd be unable to recover it. I'd already drafted up a few of the early chapters, too. Once I was happy with them, I planned on typing them up. I didn't get a chance. She took it. Took my ideas. My hard work. And passed it off as her own. She used it for our creative writing class at first. I didn't know until the teacher passed around copies she'd made as an example for us. That's when I saw my characters, my plot, a piece of my heart and soul on the page before me. I could feel tears prickling in my eyes when I realized what had happened. I didn't even realize the journal was gone. I'd been too busy with homework in the days before to write in it. There was nothing I could do about it in class. It was my word against hers, even if the teachers knew what she was like. They all bent to her will in the end. All I did was raise my hand and say I didn't feel well. I think the fact I was on the verge of tears added to the lie, and I was excused. The school nurse let me go home with what she presumed was a 24-hour stomach bug. I wanted to tell my parents. At the same time, I didn't. I didn't want to be the one to blame for tearing apart our families, even if it was really her fault. So I kept it inside, cried in my room. My parents just thought it was because of whatever bug I had. I had been sick before.
Hey guys, this is gonna be part 1 of the video, so okay. Bye!